Welcome back to the shed. Well, quite often I do some fairly complex models, and a lot of the comments I get, saying they're quite a lot of money, and I do agree they are a big investment. So I've recently been sent this nice, simple engine, which is it's made by Enjomore. I've not had an Enjomore engine before. But they're very similar to the Retrol and the sort of Okamo stuff. But this is a much simpler and obviously much cheaper engine. And it's also absolutely perfect for sort of STEM engineering, which is STEM education rather, which is like, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, which is a big thing in going around the world really, is trying to give people, proper practical skills rather than just academic skills. So I will be donating this engine to, whoever wants it really, especially if it's like a club or a group or a school or something like that, who can use it as an educational tool. But anyway, I'll talk about that later. There's also like a online simulator where you have to control all the steam, power, heat, etc. And it's based on this actual engine. So that's another side of the sort of STEM area, which would be really useful. Obviously, this doesn't have all those controls. It just, it just runs as it is. But anyway, I'll unpack it and I'll build it up, and I'll show you what we've got. So, like I said, the boiler itself is a really simple system. It's just two domes put together. There's obviously some gaskets and clamping rings which go with that there. Flywheel, as always. And then we've got a pre-built, ready built up for us. Beautiful little, little crankshaft and crank discs there. And it looks like that's the spool valve at the end there. So that'll be controlling the actual, the inlet and the exhaust port. That's very nice, actually. Saves you a lot of work having to put all that together. And I'm guessing the piston will probably come off there. That'll be the conrod, I would guess. Here is the little piston. As you can see, it's a little beautiful thing, actually. Well, everything's beautiful, isn't it, when it's been made properly? But yeah, that looks lovely. You've got the, I think that is the cylinder. So therefore you need, of course, a cylinder block and valve block. Yeah, so that certainly looks like what that is. Nice. It's all made out of brass. It's all gorgeous. Yep. And level 2. You've got the little burner tray there for the meths. So we'll unpack that in a bit. And then in here you have, let me just move this out the way. This is the base, obviously, and it's got all the other bits in there. So yeah, that's quite nice. Nice powder coated matte finish in like it's like an army green, isn't it? It's quite nice actually. Yeah, that looks quite nice. And then of course you've got the chassis plates to build up the engine with, and a few other bits and bobs. A bag of nuts and bolts, bearings, washers, a couple of Allen keys, little spanner by the looks of it as well. And then in here we've got some threaded rods, threaded on the inside. I guess they're the supports, O-rings, washers, sealing, sealing rings, etc. And the final bag, I'll open that one up actually because it looks quite nice. I do like brass things. So yeah, we've got a, well, I'm guessing that's the output from the boiler. Little chimney there, is it? Something inside there. Maybe, I don't know, I'll figure that out. A couple of hex bits which do something, obviously. And yeah, we do have a steam pressure regulator, so that's good. It's always good to err on the side of safety. A nice little double pulley, small and large, oopsie-daisy. And a knurled nut, which possibly connects that to the boiler. So I'll tell you what, I'll get busy now and get this built up, and well, we'll see what comes out of it. So I've got all the parts now laid out. I've sorted all the screws into one of these sort of paint built trays that I do. There is a magnet in there. I'm not sure what that is used for as yet. But anyway, the first thing that the drawings, I've cut these up into little sheets so that they're easier to sort of show you what's happening. So the first thing is just basically to put the little rubber feet on, so they just sit somewhere down here, I guess. Sticky back feet, one in each corner. Well, that's drawing one done. That's good. So now number 2 is the crank assembly. Let's move those over there so I don't knock them over. And it's asking to fit the piston. Okay, so that should be fairly straightforward. A little wrist pin, which I'm guessing is the only thing in there that needs it. So next one, number 3. Okay, it looks like we're going to be assembling the valve block with the cylinder. Okay, that looks fairly straightforward. Okay. Should be okay. Shouldn't be a reason why not. Ah, that's better. Okay, it's a little tight, but that will wear. And 5. So number 5. Okay, we're starting to build the chassis up now by the looks of things. Yes, there's a bearing to go in there. It is asking us to put the flywheel on. Now we get to mount it on the base. Okay, so let's get the base, get it the right way round for the drawing. Number 15, M3 by 12. Okay, so it looks like the frame is about done for now. So now I need to move on to the actual boiler. Here we are now then. So we're basically fitting the 3 stand studs. Well, my screw tray is empty, so I'm guessing I've put everything together correctly. And as you can see, it's quite a lovely thing, really. Nice and simple. It turns over in a fashion that turns over quite well. So I'm going to lubricate all the moving parts, all the little joints, anything that moves basically. Right, ready to run. I think so. No, it's pretty cool. Okay. So the next step, of course, is to need to add some water into the boiler. Now, it does say 25 millilitres, which isn't very much really, but we'll start off with that and see how we get on. Lift the funnel up so it doesn't get air trapped. I'll lose all my water like I have done. Okay, well that's normal. Normal for me to screw up and get it wrong. Oh, come on, I hate what's going on here. So I'm just going to top it back up with water, and one of the easiest methods I've found is to use a pipette or something like this, simply because whenever you try and put the water in the top, it just gets sort of well, what's the word? Airlocked, I suppose. And this way seems to work okay. It's only a small drop of water anyway, so it doesn't take a few seconds. Okay, so that's all in there. Put that to one side. Obviously the safety valve needs to go back on. Always give it just a little press, make sure it's working. Although of course with this engine, to be fair, it doesn't have a valve anywhere, like a throttle valve, so you can't actually, you know, block the that vent there where this steam comes out. So you know, if it was to get too hot, it'd simply blow this tube off. So it's no real biggie, that one. Now I did realise where the magnet finally goes, and it just sits in the bottom of there, so it allows that to stay wherever you leave it. Now it's got this little piece of cotton wool in there, so just want to add a little bit of well, this is actually bioethanol. You can use methylated spirits, but it's not very good indoors meths. It tends to get a bit smelly, and it'll also well, it's basically poisoning you, so not really the best of ideas. So now we just place that centrally. It's got the little stainless disc there, which you can pop on top to extinguish the flame, but we're simply just going to light it up and let it run. So I'll take a match, and oop, it's going to go. Yep, there we are. So that is now lit, and it'll take a couple of minutes to warm up. So I'll leave that running. start to wait and see for the steam to come through. Okay, so it's going to take a few minutes to warm up, so we'll let that do its thing. Now, one thing I want to mention is this exhaust pipe chimney thing. That is actually your exhaust pipe, so it does tend to blow, you know, certainly when it's starting, tends to blow a bit of water out, which sort of goes everywhere really. It's not really avoidable unless of course you have to put some little pipe on there, which I might do actually. We'll see. But you know, it is what it is. Now this when the engine's running, it actually runs well clockwise as you face the flywheel, so it'll be running in that direction. Just get some of that water sucked up, and well, the magnet as well actually prevents it from, you know, if you are to move it around, it's going to prevent it from spilling anywhere. As you can see, it's a nice clean flame. Nice clean flame, doesn't leave a lot of soot. That bioethanol is really quite good actually. And it'll heat up the water in the tank. The pressure will go into the cylinder, so that will push the piston downwards, and the weight of the flywheel will bring it back up. Yeah, push the steam out the top. Now the way this is controlled, of course, is by the valve system, which is this section here on the top. And here we go. So well, let's get out to 5. And it's just about to start running, I think. It's putting a bit of water out. So give it a gentle turn. Obviously the cold condensed water will come out first. Just give that a bit of a dry up. Okay, so once the engine itself has warmed up slightly, we can start to persuade it to start going. And of course it'll be quite watery and wet to start with. As you can see now, that is really quite lovely. That's the valve gear going in and out there. Obviously the valve control shaft. And like I say, there's no regulator on this other than squeezing the pipe. I suppose you could do that to slow the engine down. So it just runs at, well, full pelt really. But it only lasts a couple of minutes with a small water tank. But yeah, it's quite a lovely little setup really, isn't it? It really is quite a lovely little setup. Lots going on in there that you can see, you know, with your crank discs, your connecting rod, you know, your valve timing rod levers, and of course the valve itself going in and out, and you can kind of get to understand you know, how that works, especially if you use that simulator I was talking about. Just going to come in a bit now, get focus. How marvellous. I think you can already hear that it's actually starting to wind down now. the engine is starting to wind down. But yeah, isn't it lovely? A lovely thing. So that's telling me it's running out of steam. So it's running out of water, because essentially the burner is still going quite strong under there. So as I know the water's now sort of gone, I'm going to put that little blanking cap on to cut the flame, and you can see how fast actually the engine stops once that has been applied. So remember, it stays very hot, so don't get touching anything until everything's cooled down. And well, what a marvellous little engine really for sort of STEM learners: science, technology, engineering and mathematics. And you know, the sort of the STEM, the idea of STEM is to encourage younger folks, you know, who aren't necessarily particularly academic, or you know, if they don't perform well in the classroom, lots of other people, distractions and things like that. You know, to get them, to help them learn about you know, real world problems really. You know, instead of theoretical ideas and things, real world problems, how things work, why they work. You know, what we've used over the industrial past for machines, and the growth of you know, the growth of the world. And it's just you know, I think this model is absolutely perfect for that. I mean, like I say, it's nice and cheap, you know, compared to other types of sort of steam toys that you can get. But this just comes out of the box. You put it together, which is the interesting thing, so you do get to see how it all goes. It's nice and easy. You could take it all apart again and put it back together again, and it'll still run absolutely fine. There's no real, you know, issues that you're going to come across. All you need is a bit of fuel, and of course, you know, a little bit of lubrication oil. This is the fuel I've been using. It's bioethanol, premium bioethanol. It's normally clear. I've just put the a little bit of dye in there, just so I know what I'm using all the time. Methylated spirits, like I say, will work as well. You don't use anything else like petrol or paraffin or nothing like that. Okay, so always try and stick to, you know, clean burning premium bioethanol, and then you won't have any problems. And obviously, of course, keep them all secure in pots and things like that. So there you go. So thanks to Engine DIY again for sending me this lovely little beauty. Like I said at the start, I'd like to probably give this engine away. So I don't know if there's any local STEM sort of groups around you know, in Staffordshire who would welcome this as a sort of a learning machine for their students. If so, just contact me via PM, and I'll discuss that with you. Now there is only one of them, of course, so it'll have to be like a first come first served basis. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye for now.